Hey, good morning, it's Owen Bigline. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Every weekend when I'm reading the Globe and Mail, they have on the weekend edition, they have a pretty extensive book review section there. And I'm always amazed at how many books are kind of these self-help, relieving stress, getting off that 9 to 5 wheel, spending more time, how to balance your life between family and work, and cutting back on the amount of work and stress and trying to spend more time with your family, and books on meditation. It's a billion-dollar business, and the fact that there's always a couple of new ones coming out that are being reviewed shows me that there is a huge insatiable appetite for these kind of books, because let's face it, people are working more, spending more time commuting to get to work, spending less time with their families. They're on this, hamster wheel of 9 to 5 and paycheck to paycheck. So one of the best areas, though, or one of the best things you can do to get control of your life and relieve a whole bunch of stress, in my opinion, and really the only way to permanently do it, is to get your money working for you and start earning passive income. And in my new book, it's really the whole theme behind my book, Along for the Ride. It's how I got started 30 years ago, and how I achieved what we call the crossover point, where the income you're earning passively from your real estate investments and your stock portfolio is the income that they're generating is enough to live on. And when I say enough to live on, I don't mean just getting by. As you'll see in the book I wrote, I'm talking about living a good lifestyle, taking 3 or 4 vacations, driving a new car, wearing nice suits, and eating at restaurants. So it depends on how you structure it and what your goals are and what you want to achieve. For me, I set my goals pretty high. But passive income is the absolute ultimate stress reliever, and creating a passive income machine. The 2 best ways to do it are through investment in real estate, so buying an investment property, putting a tenant in there, and collecting a rent check. It's not 100% passive real estate, because you do have to monitor your property. Every now and again you're going to get a phone call from your tenant that the toilet's not working, so you're going to have to go out and fix it. And every now and again you're going to lose a tenant, have to put an ad in Craigslist, screen a new tenant, and get a new one in there. Paint the place and clean it up and whatever else. So there is some work involved, but for the most part it is fairly passive. The second best way to do it is to buy quality dividend-paying stocks. And I've talked a lot about this in the past. We're talking Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Royal Bank, TD. These are companies that have a long history of not only profits, but paying a handsome dividend and increasing that dividend uninterrupted for 30, 40, 50 years or more. You simply take those dividend checks you get from your portfolio and roll it over into more additional stocks or shares in various companies, whatever you think is valued and would make a reasonable buy at that price. Same thing with real estate. You keep collecting those dividend checks, you save your money, you then move on to get your second property and keep going from there. It's a rinse and repeat process. But earning passive income, getting your money to work for you, as opposed to having to actually work for a paycheck and putting in those hours, will give you the ultimate stress reliever. Trust me, I know from experience. So those are the things I've always tried to advocate on my blog here. A simple buy, hold strategy. There's no quick fix, folks, to getting financial security. And unfortunately, a lot of people want that. They want to buy a stock and it goes up 100 or 200%, sell it, and then go on from there. That's the stuff for movies and day traders, and it is a surefire way to go broke. In my book, I will tell you how successful, how wealthy people who I've learned from really invest. And it's not buying and trading stock or buying and trading and getting out of real estate. It's simply buying and holding. And think about for a minute, I make my living listing and selling properties. I get a commission when I list a property and sell it. And I tell most of my clients that I get into on their first property or their second one, keep it if you can. In some cases, they want to sell it and move up the ladder to a bigger principal residence. But if it's an investment property, as much as I'd like to earn the commission from you, I'd like to see you buy it, keep it for the long term until that tenant has paid off the entire mortgage. And then it's just 100% passive income from there. So passive income and creating a passive income or getting your money to work for you, you have to do it. There are not enough working hours in the day, folks, to achieve financial success unless you're a surgeon making $500,000 a year. For the rest of us, if you're earning $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, a typical wage, you've got to take 15 or 20% of that money up front, pay yourself, and invest it. Two best ways are real estate and equities, but not any type of equities, dividend paying equities, as I'll talk about in my book. You got to get that money working for you at an early age. At the earlier you start it, the easier it is, and you can start generating that passive income. If you can't do that, it's going to be very difficult to retire comfortably. As I say, there's not enough hours in the day to earn a living and making it paycheck to paycheck. You've got to set aside some money and get that money working for you passively. So it's the ultimate stress reliever. That's what I would suggest to people that are getting tired of the 9-to-5 hamster wheel that they're on and not spending enough time with their family. You should start by putting aside 20% of your salary up front and getting it working for you through real estate and stocks. In my book that's coming out next week, by the time you probably see this blog, it'll be out on Amazon. Buy it, you'll learn a lot from it. It's a surefire way to success, guaranteed 100%. But remember, it's not a get-rich-quick type program. This is a long-term 20, 25, 30-year program. It's how the successful and wealthy do it. I'm Owen Bigline. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.